What's up? What's up? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. I haven't done one of these in a minute. Uh, a few days now. Polo motivation, bro. You know, you know, everybody they reach that breaking point. Everybody has mental collapse. Everybody gets mentally shot. Everybody gets stressed out to a certain degree. Everybody all you know the one thing, man, that's very simple for you to see that you can make it out of it is that you're still living. What's up with it, Jay Steve? I see you in the building. You're still living. Every day above the surface. I Brian and AD while he's just consoling, trying to console these guys, let them know it's going to be okay and stuff like that. You believe it or not, a lot of people think that this is funny, and a lot of think that they're joking about this and stuff like that. But there are a lot of people, believe it or not, outside of basketball that are going through a tumultuous time, and they do need somebody like a Russell Westbrook in this picture to be like, everything's going to be okay. Because a lot of people, you believe it or not, they'll be happy to hear that. Even the ones that try to fake it until they make it. Believe it or not, man, you have people out here that they'll 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 put this fake persona on like everything is so okay, even to the point that it might sound simple to some people, and for others it might sound very difficult. But I'm here to give you some things, man. And this ain't or everything that I tell you is based off of a lot of experience. Now, yeah, I know Tyrone Church, but we're not talking about that right now, brother. Okay? We're not talking about that right now. But salute to you. Now, um, what I'm going to tell you is, hold on one second. You say I'm breaking up. All right, push one in the chat if you can hear me now, because I want to hear you. I want you to hear me loud and clear. Push one in the chat if you can hear me right now. All right. So now you hear me loud and clear. Hey, Tyrone Church. Yeah, I was telling you, man. This is Polo motivation, man. I'm not speaking on anything, any trades or you know basketball, any of that stuff. I mean, I put this photo up here because it pertains to the topic that we're talking about, and it has to do with people that are mentally shot. So man, I sorry to spoil the party and everything. I know you probably wanted to talk about sports and everything, but this is for people that really could use uh, here on Polo Motivation, man. It's for people that really are going through a tough time, really don't know where to turn to, really don't know what to do, really need some advice and stuff. And look, I'm not here to say that I'm perfect. I ain't here to say that I'm, no preacher, no saint, none of that other stuff. But what I'm here to do is I'm here to uplift you because somebody could be going through the same thing. So, we'll get back on the sports in a little bit. You already know, man. I talk about everything on this channel. But what I'm telling people, man, is that, there's a lot of people out here. Earlier we were talking about, mental health, man. And mental health is something that, like I said before, is not anything to joke around with. It's not something to play around with. It's not something to, you know, tell a fib about. It's not something to cry wolf about, and you have a lot of people out here that's doing stuff like that. But you do have people out here that really are mentally shot. And in the case of Russell Westbrook, the media, they'll focus in on him and doing this and doing that, and uh, you could tell the body language, in his press conference, or tell the body language while he's on the bench. Russell Westbrook is not the only one that might be struggling mentally, and for real though, you're not around this guy 24/7, 365 enough to know whether or not, this guy is really feeling okay or not. He could be really feeling all right, but the fact that you keep keying in on that particular person, okay, that's going to be the driving force of really making that person angry. And see, a lot of y'all, what you do is you'll try to read somebody's body language, somebody's facial expression, and you try to psychoanalyze a lot of people. Some people just have a demeanor where they just don't want to smile. Some people have a demeanor where they just look a certain way. Some people have a demeanor of where they don't play around a lot, and some people have a demeanor of where they just have just a straight face. They never smile. They don't really get all excited about anything. It's just that's just them. So you can't really just automatically assume, okay, well, that person's mentally shot. Now, a mentally shot person is going to be a person where, I mean, you could clearly tell if somebody's mentally shot. You could tell if they're mentally exhausted. And if you're not mentally exhausted, then keep living life. You'll be mentally exhausted. You'll be mentally exhausted, and you'll be mentally exhausted from overexerting yourself. You know, a lot of people, they don't want to hear this type of stuff. But those are the ones that really feel inside the saddest. And they don't know, they truly don't know how to heal. you know, look, I get it, man. I get what a lot of people, go through, man. Some of y'all are at a place in your life, man, where you you're at the point now where you could do anything. I'm here to tell you, man, don't do it because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth not living another day of life. It's not worth you being in behind a jail cell. It's not worth you not having your freedom anymore. We know the truth about certain things. You might have found out something that you really didn't want to hear, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But you can't let that make you be mentally shot. The first thing that you need to do, okay, if you're mentally shot, you need to. I don't know if you drive or if you walk or if you get around like that. You need to go find your quiet place. Hell, your quiet place could be noisy, but when I say a quiet place, you need to find a place where you can sit down, like a park, or even if it's in an empty gym, or if you really heavily involved with athletics, or um, it might be even in the closet. But you whatever wherever place that you choose, you need to find that space to where, okay, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. I need to take some time to be on my own and to be by myself. That's the first thing you need to do. Another thing you need to do is all the problems that you have, all the problems that you have. Okay, now it's two ways that you could do this. You could either make a mental note of all the problems that you're going through, or you could actually physically write it down, or whatever. Now, sometimes, man, you're gonna have to cut out all distractions when you're in your quiet place. You're gonna have to get away from the tablet, get away from the phone, get away from anything that's gonna distract you, because you might get distracted by something that you're really trying to take your mind off of. And so, if somebody, for instance, there might be a girl that's really pissing you off, or for my fellas, or it might be a guy that's really really pissing you off for the females, and then that guy or that girl that's pissing you off might end up calling you or texting you or trying to get a hold of you when you're trying to take your mind off of that distraction when you're in your quiet place. Well, that's why you need to get rid of any type of distraction, because then guess what? Then you're going to focus back on the problem. And it was the problem that you were trying to take your mind off of. It was the problem that you were trying to eliminate. It was a problem that you were trying to get rid of. It was a problem that you were trying to make sure that it was just pretty much going to disappear from your mental, because really it's really all, like I said, it's all mental. So eliminate that, eliminate any distraction, but make a mental note. Have yourself a piece of paper, and if you don't like to write, you know what I'm saying, make a mental note. And if you have to use some sort of electronic device, you know, like your cell phone or tablet or something, in which to take down some of the things that you need to write down, then go ahead and do it. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna write down or jot down every single problem. I'm talking about negative problem that's just wearing you down. I mean, you could even say it to yourself. Where that's just wearing you down. I mean, I'm talking about all types of problems. Uh, death. Okay, let's just go ahead and put it out there. Somebody probably stole from you. Somebody probably said something about, you know, somebody that you love, like a loved one or something like that. Somebody, you know, infidelity might have happened, or you know, your girlfriend or boyfriend might have cheated on you. You might have broke up. Somebody might have broken your house. Somebody might have took your car. Somebody might have, uh, you know, did something really, really negative to you and everything. You might have seen something that really pissed you off. You're not getting ahead at work. Everything. Just write it down on a piece of paper, or make a mental note of it. And then what you're gonna do is all those problems that that you wrote down, that you that you have, and or that you made a mental note of, or uh, you really know what it is. Then what you need to do is, on like a separate sheet of paper, or you know, in a separate column or whatever, or if you jotting it down on the on the tablet, then what you want to do is that stuff that you see right there, like, you know, for instance, you might be like, yeah, that person made fun of me because of the way that I talk. Well, you have to write, what am I going to do to get better in this situation, or what are you going to do to improve? And then what you're going to do is you're going to make that pretty much a goal to get better, because really it's about you overcoming you being mentally shot. That's all it really is. It's really it's That's really what it is. But again, you got to get away from all distractions. You got to get away from uh, you know, all the noise or whatever. You need to get, you know, by yourself. Now, if you need to talk to somebody, hey, that's cool, because I was going to get to that a little bit later, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet, because really right now it's about your problem, and doing your best to fix it. Now, sometimes you're gonna need that support. Everybody needs somebody to talk to, and if you don't have anybody to talk to or whatever, then I would advise you to do your best to try, as hard as it may seem. You know, a lot of you that are mentally shot, y'all really won't admit it. But believe it or not, that's what's eating you up inside. And see, that's why, like, a lot of females, that's why they vent. because they they tend to females hold in a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they'll hold in stuff to where okay, then it's like, damn, I gotta let it out. You know what I'm saying? And the way that they let it out can be in a multitude of ways because like females have millions of different emotions and stuff. Now, for a man, usually 9 times out of 10, men are more inclined to holding stuff in and just taking it to the grave. That's just our genetic. And then you have some men that'll pretty much just spill the beans or say what needs to be said or whatever and stuff. But you have a lot of guys that hold a lot of stuff in. That's just by nature who we are. But if you at the point where you about to snap, and I'm talking about either snapping on somebody or even snapping on yourself, then yeah, that's when you need to talk to somebody. Look, I'm not a counselor. I'm not. I'm not a psychiatrist. Any of that stuff. I'm not any of that. I want to let people know that first and foremost. But I'm telling you what what some of the things they tend to work for me, and they may work for you, they may not work for you. But either way, what can work for you and what you have to have faith that will work for you is the fact that you getting over you being mentally shot. You're capable of doing that. It's not impossible. Um, you know, it's it's not without reach. Okay, people are going to say things to you constantly. People are going to do everything to destroy you, even when you mentally shot. Even when you mentally shot. But the best thing that you could do is just keep living because everybody got to go through a storm. Listen, there's some people that can handle a storm. There's some people that can't handle a storm. But you want to do your best to try to handle that storm because at the end of the day, it's gonna end. It's gonna end. There was a time in my life when I didn't want anybody around me. I didn't want anybody around me because of a situation that had taken place within my family. But guess what? Little did I know I was mentally shot because me taking it out on everybody else, it wasn't doing it. It wasn't hurting them. Guess who it was hurting? It was hurting myself. It's hurting you when you take it out on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? When you saying some of that stuff that you really don't mean, because a lot of y'all, man, y'all might snap on somebody or something like that, and you really don't mean it, man. You just it's therapeutic. Believe it or not, it's probably therapeutic for you to take everything out on a person. But really, you don't know that you're mentally shot that way. We can, like I said, you can pose like you're strong. You can pose like you like you this imposing figure, like not like you're indestructible or invincible. But the fact is, nobody is indestructible and nobody's invincible. Now there might be people that have a higher threshold mentally in terms of tolerance. Some people have a higher threshold pain wise, physically and stuff. But there are people that have a higher threshold that can endure a lot and have a lot of we could call it patience. It's a lot of people that are able to withstand a lot until their patience wears thin. But either way, you're not indestructible, and you're you're not invincible. You know, you are a human being. Okay, you have feelings. You have a heart. You have lungs. You have a brain. You have a mental capacity. You have all of that. Some might be different than others. But what I am going to tell you though is that you can overcome it. You can overcome that shit. And don't let nobody sit up there and try to destroy you mentally. If you sit there and you're trying to do something and you're really trying to make it out of, but you have the weight of the world against you. It's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be hard to try to prove those people wrong. But really, right there, you've already fucked up, because look, if if you're trying to prove people wrong or something like that, that's the worst thing that you could do. Because guess what? You have to prove you have to prove it to yourself first and foremost that you could get things done. A big percentage of these people that say that they care is very few that care. That is very few that care. There's very few that are going to be there for you to pick you up in a situation like this. Some people might not know that you're depressed. Some people might not know what you're going through. Some people might not know how you feeling. They really don't. Some people bring it on themselves in terms of what they've dug themselves into, in terms of a hole, what type of hole they've dug themselves into. But guess what? You could get out of it. You could get out of it. Don't allow um, the illusions to steer you in the wrong place, in the wrong place mentally. You always want to make sure that you're in a good space, man. You know, and part of that, man. If you are a person that is um, capable of doing certain things, if you have a particular talent, craft, whatever the case is, your focus should be on that and nothing else. If you're just a regular guy, man, that just goes to work, uh, is all about his family, all about his wife, all that, kids, all that stuff, then you need to focus on that and make sure that you can be the best that you could possibly be. We know that it's not easy. It's not easy in this world, because this world is gonna have a million different things flying at you, and it's gonna be at a million miles per hour. But that's just the way that it is. That's just what life is. Yeah, like, monkey wrenches are gonna come, curveballs are gonna come, and it's gonna knock you to the floor. But you gotta know. Listen, the best thing about it is like you gotta know how to get up. because somebody is going to be coming to you one day and they're going to want to know, how did you overcome this mentally? How did you defeat this mentally? How did you take control of this mentally? And they're going to be looking for answers. They're going to want to know. Some of y'all wonder why y'all never evolve. Some of y'all wonder why y'all never go anywhere. It's because you might you might be stuck in a place mentally to where you're like, I'm never gonna be able to overcome this. But really, you can. Really, you can. It's all up to you. You got to be about you. Let's take money. Let's take sports. Let's take uh your talents, music, all that stuff. Let's just take, step aside from that for a second and make sure that you are okay. Cause your physical well being, yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, we all want to make sure that we're in shape. You know what I'm saying? We all want to make sure that make sure that we're fit. Make sure that we're getting in the doctor. Make sure that we're taking care of our health and all that other stuff. Yeah, yada yada yada, all that. Yeah, that's great. But your mental well being is just as important as your physical well being. There's a lot of people that go, you'll meet them and they'll put on the act. You see, you're not around some people enough to know that that person might be struggling and they might just be putting on this fake facade, or this fake act, and they're one way when you see them maybe at the job, or you see them out and about and everything, but then when they go home, that person, you might be going through something mentally and everything, but then when you get home, man, or when they get home, they're just as broke down mentally as you are, but they're hiding it. Now, I often think about a guy like Robin Williams, and if y'all don't know who Robin Williams was, he was a comedian. He played in the movie. He played in a lot of movies, but he was an actor, and he committed suicide some years ago. But Robin Williams was always putting on this, like, he was always happy. He was always up. He was always energetic. He was always feeling good. Never would slow down and stuff until one day he hung himself, and everybody was shocked. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he committed suicide," stuff like that. Same with another guy. I forget the other comedian's name, but he was another white comedian or whatever. But he committed suicide. But see, a guy could be mentally shot, or a woman could be mentally shot and not be telling you that. You know why? Because they think that it's mentally weak if you tell a person, "Hey man, I'm going through this, man. I'm going through this battle. I'm going through that battle." That ain't mentally weak. If anything, that's courageous. Hey, look, they they always praise all these people for, you know, um certain accolades, or they even praise people for coming out the closet. I'm not trying to offend nobody. I mean, it just is what it is. They they praise people for that. Well, why don't they praise people for saying, okay, hey, I'm going through this mental battle, I'm going through that mental battle? But you'll be surprised, a lot of people look down on a lot of people that are going through a lot of stuff, because a lot of people, especially where I come from, they'd be like, man, you know, man, just hype up, man. She like, man, quit being a little bitch or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody cut the same to handle that sort of thing. You know, that's why I don't never judge anybody what they go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I always tell people I'm a phone call away, email away, text away, whatever. If you need something, I'm here. But a lot of people don't trust each other because once they tell something to somebody or whatever and they confide in them, some people like to throw that back into a person's face, and then they lose all trust and they be like, man, I don't know if I could tell anybody else anything, and so they shut down. I mean, that happens in a lot of families, that happens in a lot of relationships, it happens in a lot of stuff. You know, you'll be surprised how people get mentally shot. You might have been doing something great your whole entire life, your whole entire life. It's gotten you through. And this example, it pertains to Russell Westbrook because I know earlier I said I wasn't really going to be talking about sports and all that stuff, but it pertains to Russell Westbrook. You might have been doing like he said, he's been doing this his whole life, playing basketball. You know, people telling him, you know, he was great. You're gonna be a star one day. You're athletic. You're gonna be a star one day. Then all of a sudden, you get hit with the reality that people are not accepting what you're doing. You're not good, and you know you need to quit, and you should consider retirement. You're on the decline. Yada yada yada. All that stuff. But really, you don't know that it's just an illusion. Um, Now there are some people that might feel differently from what I feel, but this is what I would do. You know, when somebody is telling you something and somebody's trying to beat you down and beat you down mentally to the point where they want to see you break and they want to see you fold, you got to take the personal challenge to make sure that you take that weakness and turn it into a strength because that's all it is. Some people might have told you, man, you dumb, or you're not intelligent, or you're not smart, or you you don't know how to talk, or you curse too much, or you this, you that. Some people get mentally shot just by words, but you got to take that as a personal challenge. You got to write it down, remember to make that mental note, and don't become mentally shot. Do your best to become mentally tough. People wonder why, our culture is so broken. It's because we got a lot of mentally shot, sick people running around our culture that don't want to take initiative, that don't want to take responsibility and hold them. Listen, we sit here all day and we hold other people accountable. No, you got to hold yourself accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. Look, LeBron is a human being. AD's a human being. Russell Westbrook's a human being. All the announcers, everybody, everybody's a human being. And some people, they'll come with this bogus ass excuse. They'll be like, well, it's my job to in the media to do this and do that. Listen, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know the damage that you do to a person. You really don't. That's why, like, I had to realize that I have to, I, I have to approach everything like a business, and I got to treat it like a business, and that way I'll be successful. Man, listen, everything should be a business, and it'll make business sense for you. Look, make sure that you're, taking care of your body, because your body is an investment. You know what I'm saying? Not just for athletes, that's just for life, because you got to get up and you got to walk and you got to function. So guess what? You got to treat your body like a business. You got to make sure that you maintain your business. You got to treat your treat your relationship, whatever relationship it is, like a business. You got to make sure that you're loyal to that person. Be there on time. You know, just the straight essentials of having a business, just like any other business. You will want that to be well kept. You want to treat your car like a business. You got to make sure that your car is functioning right. You got to make sure everything that you have is like a business. Well, guess what? You got to treat your mind like a business. That's your mental well-being. That's your mental health. And if you're mentally shot, guess what? Your business is failing. It's what you got to do. You'll never get nowhere unless you do. But see, some of y'all, you say that you are right, but if somebody says something to you or whatever, then you get thrown off mentally. Or if somebody does something to you or something like that, or they wanna have a tough conversation, you wanna run from that. Hey, that already shows your mentality. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, also hit the notifications. Till then, man, Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. Thank you for listening to this Polo motivation. I'm gonna get at y'all later.